How many of you had access to your Google My Business listing and looked at it during today? How many? Good. Was it set up right? Yes. Wrong, right? Yeah. So it was helpful, right? You came out of the office today to learn some things. So we're going to pick up the pace, and hopefully we'll finish up by 7 o'clock tonight, in case you have to stay over a little bit. Let's talk quickly about Google Tag Manager. Most people don't know what this is, but your website, when it's programmed in HTML or in JavaScript, has what we call a data layer. So when you're clicking on photos, behind the scenes, things are firing to move photos or download something. So the website has a data layer. Google Tag Manager allows you to easily put software into the data layer. For example, a Google retargeting pixel, right? If someone comes to your website, the pixel fires, and you can retarget somebody. Same thing with the Facebook pixel. So instead of going into the website code and hard coding every page with the pixel, the Tag Manager is basically a box, an empty box that sits on every single page of your website. And in there, you could put the Facebook retargeting pixel, you could put the Google retargeting pixel, you could put the Adwords, you could put scripts to track what people do on your website. Also, some manufacturers, whether you know it or not, are tracking what's going on the franchise dealer's website and sending that information, as well for tracking. So it's called a container. So first of all, you create a Google Tag Manager account and container. You add this code to the website that creates this box. Then you can go into the box and put what you'd like, and then you publish it live to your website. Now these are the steps. The reason why I bring this up is most people don't understand how good this is and how dangerous it is. So I want to bring this information to you. I just picked the website. This is Bokanen? Is that how you say that? Bohanen? That's it. It's like French, it's Italian, I don't know. Bohanen, whatever. So there's a free plugin called the Google Tag Assistant in Chrome. You could just download it for free. On any website, anybody's website, you can go and record what's going on. So you turn on the Tag Manager and you click, go to a few pages, say stop recording, tell me what you see. And the Tag Manager for this dealer, interesting, they had 4 different Google Analytics accounts on the one website, and they had 3 Tag Manager containers, 1 for Google Optimize and 2 on GTM. Now, the interesting thing is the dealer may have no clue how many people get their data. In this case, theoretically, there's 4 different parties that are collecting the Google Analytics data, whether they know it or not. And more importantly, there are 3 boxes, magic boxes, controlled by whoever. And in these boxes, could be helpful information or poisonous information. For example, if somebody had malicious intent and had access to the Google Tag Manager container, every single lead on your website can be sent to someone else. So if someone's filling out the lead form, they could scrape that and shoot it right off to some other. So I bring this up is because Tag Manager was designed to make it easy for people to maintain their websites. But some of you work with an agency and then you fired the agency. None of you think, maybe I should take away access to that Google Tag Manager container because they do not need access. Or, I don't know in Holland if you have these bitter divorces with your agency. Or maybe things didn't go so well, and maybe you think the agency is vindictive or angry with you. Well, you surely need to know what's in each container and who has control. So just a general warning. Google Tag Manager is fantastic. I'm going to show you what I use it for. But just to understand, you should know how many containers are installed on your site and who has access. You should be able to look at all those containers, with the exception of an OEM website where it's given to you, you're forced to, and the manufacturer says, no, that container is mine. You cannot look inside the container. That happens. Okay, that happens. But if your website company has containers, or you had an ex-marketing manager who left who created the containers, you better very quickly understand what's in each container. Are you with me? It has a good and a bad. Now, what's the good part? Let's just take a look at Van Massel Kia. We, as an industry, sell cars on something called a vehicle detail page. It's a product page in all e-commerce. If somebody is sending traffic, and you are, whether it's through Marktplaats or Gospodel or Google or Facebook, to the VDP, how do you know if the people you're sending to that VDP are shoppers? Do you just pray? Dear God, I hope they buy a car. That's one approach. Or what would you determine as someone who's a shopper on this page? They came to the page. How do you know if they're a shopper? They send a lead, which is the very primal instinct of dealers. Give me more leads, okay? Stop thinking like that. Consumers have less reason to submit a lead today, and I'll explain as we develop this afternoon's conversation. But how would I know if the people I'm sending my website are truly shoppers?
Duration of time they visit the page, how many clicks they make, if they leave you information or not.
Okay, those are the basic metrics that we've been using for a long time, which I will tell you are broken. And let me just repeat, how long they stayed on the website, how many clicks they made, like how many pages they visited, which would be number of pages per session, time on site. I'm going to say that information today is easily fooled. How would I know if someone's a shopper? What's that? Photos. For example, the most perfect thing, if they're interested in this car, would you agree that they may click on the photo icon and go through the photos? Or they may play the video. Or they may scroll down the page and look at the specifications. You with me? In order to do that, out of the box, Google doesn't tell you any of that. Let me just be clear. Out of the box, Google doesn't track what people do on your product pages. You have to do it manually once and write the scripts to track what people do. And that's what is the good use of Tag Manager. You hire somebody who's competent, and they tell you, did they click on each button? Did they scroll down the page? Did they click on the photos? How many photos they look at? You with me? That's what's in Tag Manager. So when I clicked on the photos, they had a gallery. See, Tag Manager can say, if they click the left arrow, send an event into Google. Gallery click. If they click the right arrow, gallery click. You with me? So Google Tag Manager is the tool in which, on any website platform, I don't care who made the website, you could start to track what people do on your website. Okay? Now, even when they click on a button to start a form. Now, everyone in this room, I don't think there's an exception, your website has a call to action button, we call it CTA, that pops up a form, correct? Do you know how many times people click the button, schedule a test drive, and how many people actually complete the form? It's really scary. And I want to encourage you, would you please make a note, if you're the owner or the manager or the marketeer, is I want you to make sure all of your CTA buttons, when clicked, send an event into Google Analytics. So if the button is called Test Drive, it sends an event called Test Drive. If it is request information or request brochure, it goes in there. Now, then when the thank you page, after I submitted the lead, and I did this, so if Van Massel Kia is here, please ignore the guy from New Jersey, okay? He's not buying a Kia today. This is the thank you page. I've talked about this before. I'm just going to mention, this is one of the ugliest pages on everyone's website. This is a sad, sad thing. We want more leads, but we got a person to submit a lead, and the best we could do is this cheap little sentence like, hey, thanks, we'll get back to you. This is the perfect opportunity on the right to put a video that goes something like this. Hi, this is Brian Pasch. I'm the general manager of Van Mossel Kia. Thank you so much for visiting our website and submitting your information on a vehicle. If you're watching this video after normal business hours, you'll be pleased to know someone from the dealership will be getting back to you the following business day. If you've submitted your information during normal business hours, expect a call and an email from our team. We're here to answer all your questions. And remember, when you buy a car at Van Mossel, everyone gets whatever the value package is. You understand? We want more leads, but even the leads we're getting, we're treating... It's not experience. We pay $5 for a Starbucks coffee. Why? Other than being insane, it's about experience, right? Again, what's the experience? What does this dealer have as a process? In Google Analytics, years ago, I created a standard where all of the events that could happen on a website have a certain series of names. You can see here, did they interact with a gallery? Did they scroll down the page? Did they swipe a gallery on the mobile phone? Did they click on the specifications tab? Did they download the window sticker? You with me? Do you understand how important this is? You want to sell more cars? You need to know if your marketeers are sending real shoppers to your website. Guess what real shoppers do? They look at photos. They download the window sticker. They use the payment calculator. You with me? They look at the specifications. They play the video. But if you're not tracking those things, how could you ever get better? Well, we just count leads. Good luck. If you're only counting leads, you're using the minority of actions to try to predict the quality of the majority of visits. It's absolutely crazy. Every e-commerce company tracks what people do on their website. And if you never knew how to do it, I'm just telling you, it's through Tag Manager. It's an amazing tool. You do it once to customize your website, and you can track what people do. Now let's talk about Google Analytics, because this is obviously one of my favorite topics. I've written a playbook for Google Analytics, and I want to just talk about some basics. Let's just look at this screen. This is, I searched for men's custom shirts. Has anybody bought shirts online? Anybody? Okay, great, great. Oh, excellent. Excellent. That's an ugly shirt. Why did you buy that one? No, just kidding, just kidding. So I started buying shirts online from Charles Tewitt. They're from London. And believe it or not, I just wait. It's like 4 shirts for, $100. I just wait. It's like 4 shirts for $160. I just wait, and it comes, and they're really good quality, and they wash well, and I love them, right? Okay, so if I typed in men's custom shirts, and here's a company called Stitch Fix and Proper Cloth. If you were Stitch Fix and a consumer clicked on your ad, what would you use as a metric to understand if your advertising was working? Not a trick question. You're a clothing company, an online clothing company. You advertise on AdWords. If you were the marketeer for that business, what metrics would you use to determine if the marketing was working? What's that? Bounce rate could be a false positive or negative. So I don't use bounce rate anymore, okay? Okay, how many of the people started trying the different sizes? Okay, what else? What's that? Yeah, how much the shopping cart was, right? So watch, if you bought this $5 keyword and they came and they bought $150, you would do your math. But watch, if you could buy a keyword for $8, it generated $300 of sales. Isn't that good information? Would you buy the $8 keyword? You would say, yeah, for $3 more. So do you understand, for everyone in the world in e-commerce, they look at their advertising cost and the revenue it generated, right? They know their gross profit, they minus their advertising costs, and they come up with this idea of return on ad spend. For Stitch Fix, for example, for every $100 in advertising, we generate $3,000 in sales. I'm just making up the number. But that's what e-commerce companies do. So when I type in Renault private lease, how does Renault dealer or Renault as an OEM know what their return on ad spend is? We're not selling cars online. We're not transacting a private lease today. You may say, well, some do. Okay. I come to this page, and okay, I start doing some investigation. How do I know if that click resulted in a private lease? The way it works in automotive, if you haven't thought about this, is if you're going to do Google advertising, you buy a keyword, you set the geography where the ad, you bid a certain amount for the keyword, and you show an ad. So here is the ad, private lease, and it takes them to a website. But our websites today don't transact. Most do not transact, meaning the whole shopping cart experience doesn't mean the deal is finalized, the money pulls out of the bank instantly like a clothing company. So what we need to do is know how many lead forms, how many phone calls, how many chats and texts. And here's the key. Google tells dealers, or let me say this, Google tells the agency of dealers that they need to feed that data back into Google Ads so Google Ads can get better. Do you understand, for e-commerce, Google requires the shopping cart price to be sent back to Google. Google then optimizes. Hey, I bid on this keyword for $5. I got $150 in sales. I bid on this keyword, it was $8. You understand? Google is a bid optimization machine. Do you know that the majority of the dealers worldwide do not send all of the conversions back to Google Ads? Isn't that funny? Most agencies selling Google Ads around the world only send back the lead forms or the phone calls from the Google ad. I'm just bringing this up that it's crazy that, of course, in the US, they're spending more per month. But I've been watching the spend in Google Ads here in the country. You're spending blindly. And you're spending without doing what Google says is the best way to maximize your money. By making sure if someone fills out a lead form, if somebody clicks, mobile click the call, if somebody chats or messages with you as a result of an ad, you should send that back. But most of the time, and I would say it would be a miracle if one person in this room, it would be a miracle if one person in the room could show me that they've imported 4 working conversion goals into their Google AdWords that hasn't heard me spoke about this in the past. Now, that includes if you bolt chat on your website. If you bolt a call tracking number, you have to work with companies that when the chat lead is sent to the CRM, they send an event into Google Analytics that says chat lead. Or if somebody calls from a desktop, because it's a tracking number, they click on the Google ad, they come to the desktop, they call the number, it's a tracking number, the call tracking cover sends an event into Google, says, phone call conversion. Now, the reason why this is important is the majority of people do not convert to leads. Dealers who are judging their marketing just by leads are making a tragic mistake, because if you've been a dealer for a while, you know that websites have gotten better. We used to have vehicles with call for price. We used to have used cars with 1 photo. Today in the US, average 50 photos per car. We have MSRP for new cars, OEM discounts and rebates, dealer discounts, monthly payments. I mean, why do they need to submit a lead? I mean, they pretty much know if they can afford this car. We never used to have that. So doesn't it make sense that We should track the gray area, right? Which is what people do who don't convert to a lead. That's the events. That's Google Tag Manager. And doesn't it make sense for the small percent that convert, we better track them all so we can improve our marketing. Okay? Now, I tried to find a violent photo. See, you guys came alive just because I showed this guy from New York. I mean, no, he isn't from New York. He's just a clip art guy. But here's the thing. Some dealers go to their ad agency, or they go to Mark Platts, or they go to Gaspedal. I want more leads. I want more leads. I want more leads. I'm firing you. You're not giving me enough leads. You're missing the change in our e-commerce system. You can't force a consumer to convert to a lead. You can't force it. It's very important to understand that. Consumers will convert if they have a question at their own time. You with me? You can't say Google's horrible because out of 1,000 clicks, I only got so many leads. Well, okay, it could be a crappy agency with bad targeting. Okay, but you look at it and you say, no, it's been Pasch certified. It's great. Whatever your leads are, you can't scream or yell for more because the consumers are at different places of their journey. The important thing is that you need to be tracking these hard conversions, because I'm going to show you something that most of you are not using, but the reason why you've never seen this is because you're not tracking the times where a consumer does convert. The key here is, when do they convert? And most of you are making marketing decisions on bad data. You think third-party portals are horrible. You think that you could do a better job using Facebook or Google, but yet it's all by the gut, not by data. When you make sure that all website leads, all mobile click to call, if you have chat, messaging, third-party tools, in the US it's very common that the trade-in tool is a third-party tool that uses market data to actually give real-time pricing on what a car is, and then service appointments. In the US, most service schedulers are third-party as well. They're built by the DMS company, not the website company, meaning it actually gives the consumer exact date and time slot that's available. It doesn't allow a consumer just to say, I want to come in on this date and time, which would be a dumb form versus a smart form. Okay? The smart form is actually tied into the scheduling for after sales. Once you have this, you need to understand that when you count leads, you're only counting the last touch. When you talk to me about leads, hey, how's my marketing? This is how many leads I got. What's working? What's not working? I'm like, you're asking the wrong question. Because you could have a great brand and they type in your dealer name, Van Mossel Kia, and then you installed the Facebook retargeting pixel and you started following them on Facebook with a video. They click on the video, they come back to Van Mossel Kia, they don't convert, they're not ready, and you also have the Google retargeting pixel. So they're out now searching for Kias, your ad is there, and they're like, yeah, that Van Mossel, let me get back there. They click. Now they've been to the website 3 times. The 4th time, they just type in www.van. You see how Google finishes the rest, right? Once you've visited a website a few times, right, it remembers the whole URL. It comes in as direct. And some of you say, man, Facebook sucks, Google sucks, it's my website, it's my brand, it's all me. They're coming direct. Because that's all you could see. So the best way to understand is some of you, and this is a US example, this is direct traffic, Google My Business traffic. Notice, once you put the tags in Google My Business, it comes in as a campaign. DT, the orange, is a Google agency. There's Car Soup, third-party classified. Cars.com, third-party classified. Facebook, Kelley Blue Book, third-party classified. Auto Trader. For example, you may say, Auto Trader is horrible. It's like, why? Well, you know, they told me how many VDP views and how many leads and phone calls, and they said 500 people clicked on the link to go to the website, and I looked, Brian, and I only got 5 leads. I'm like, really? You only got 5 leads? Yeah, no, they told me that 500 people this month clicked to visit my website. I have everything set, and I looked, and 5 leads. I'm like, huh. Well, that's only the ones that when they clicked, they converted right then, meaning in that session. When you set up your goals properly, something different happens. The best way is this cartoon. Imagine if in my mailbox I got a Nike catalog, and then I'm walking down the streets of Amsterdam and I see this Nike billboard, and I start working on my MacBook, and I'm like, yeah, I need new running shoes, and I get interrupted. I have to cook dinner. And then the next day I'm driving to work and I hear the Nike commercial. I'm sitting down at home, I see a Nike commercial on cable. I pick up my mobile phone, I order. Wouldn't it be silly for the Nike marketing manager to say, let's cancel all advertising and put all our money in Google mobile ads? You see, the only thing that the company would see is that the Google mobile ad click was the last touch. When you look at the true data, and this is real dealer data, this is the last click, assisted. Take a look at this. Auto Trader traffic, 5 leads, but 21 other leads came later, a 4-to-1 ratio. Look at cars.com. 6 leads, but later 55 more leads came later. You understand? You can't force a consumer to convert when you want to. When you look at this ratio, 6-to-1, or in this case for cars.com, 9-to-1. When you have a high, here's Kelley Blue Book, 1 lead, they suck, let's fire them. No, 44. Those people came back later. When you have a high last click to assisted ratio, you know what that tells you? That is an unbelievable source of shoppers. Meaning, high last click to assisted means that they were really shoppers. You just couldn't force them to convert when you wanted to, but they did come back and convert. That's why people misunderstand the role of portals. I'm not telling you to believe me, but the same is in Italy and in Holland, in Canada, in Mexico, in Finland. I've done these studies. Some of the highest converting traffic, highest quality, most engaged, comes from third-party portals. There's not a lot of it because people shop and find what they want and eventually come another path. But the ones that leave that portal and come to your website, you can track. And when you start seeing this data from your own data, not somebody else's data, you will start to see that this little sample actually validates that third-party portals have high-quality shopping traffic. Now, does everyone have a junk drawer at home? Like in the kitchen? Yeah. What's in your junk drawer? Junk. Pencils. You have pencils in your junk. Keys that you have no idea what those keys were for. You have any of that over here? You know, old chewing gum. You know, it's hard as a rock. It's like, what's 1 mint out of the package in the bottom back corner? You know, oh, that's kind of creepy. But Google Analytics has a junk drawer. Google knows when traffic's organic or when it's paid or when it's social. But if it doesn't know what's going on, it puts the traffic in the junk drawer. I've talked about this before. I just want to tell you the country as a general is not getting better. So I'm just going to say it again. If you're going to be better marketeers, you better make sure that your marketing partners are using the proper tags. Remember we were building tags for the Google My Business listing? We said source, Google, lowercase. We said medium, organic, lowercase. And the campaign name was a jump ball. You could say whatever you want. I called it Google _. Do you understand? Google in lowercase and organic in lowercase is not an option. if you put organic with a capital O, it goes in the junk drawer. If you make up your own medium, it goes in the junk drawer. Why is that important? Does that mean that Google can't see the traffic? Oh, it can see the traffic. But if you want to say, hey, is my organic traffic up or down? You can't. Hey, is my social media traffic up or down? You can't. Because if your social media agency is mistagging the traffic, sometimes you'd have some in the social band and some would be in the junk drawer. The junk drawer is a mix of everything. So how do I know what we're talking about? This is a Holland dealer. Paid search, organic search, referral, display, direct. There's 3,996 in 1 month. 6,000 sessions in the junk drawer. What's in the junk drawer? So we click in. They tagged their Google My Business listing wrong. They may have read an article from, some cool guy from the States, but they rushed it. I got to tag it. The source is not GMB. The source is Google in lowercase. And the traffic medium is organic, but you'll see they put a capital O. Do you know what that means? The day that they did that tag, you know what happened to their organic traffic? It went like this, at least in half. Did the organic traffic really go in half? No. But since they forced the wrong tag, Google couldn't put it where it should have been. You with me? So you could be a dealer and say, oh my God, something happened. My organic traffic went in half. Fire that agency. All the agency did is make a mistake. The traffic's still there. It just screws up your year over year or month over month reporting. Here's another, gas pedal just made up listing ad. There's no such thing as listing ad. It's a referral. There's no such thing as SMS. It's a referral. There's no such thing as carousel. It's either referral for organic or social if it's paid. So you got to make sure that your junk drawer, everyone in this room, marketeers, dealers, your junk drawer should be near 0 per month. I would say under 10 or 20 sessions. You're always going to have some floating junk, like those things in your eye sometimes. Okay, here's another dealer. 1 month, 1,500, whatever that word is, and 1,700 sessions. That must be users. I just decoded that. See, I'm a linguist like that. And what was their problem? Well, this was funny because somehow, and the only way I can imagine this is that you can go in the portal as a dealer and change your tags. I don't know if that's possible, but it seems impossible that every third-party portal could have dyslexia. You guys know what dyslexia is? Okay, great. So it's source, Ron, and medium. Source is gas pedal. The medium is referral. They got them all reversed. How is that possible? Is it like one guy copying over the other? I don't know. But in this particular case, all third-party classifieds, when they click the button that says visit dealer's website, right, should be source, gas pedal, source, Mark Blotz, lowercase, and medium, referral. We clear? If you don't do these things, then it's hard to make really cool reports that help you. So these are just some examples. If it's an organic Facebook post, meaning you're not paid, it's a referral. If you're using paid advertising, the medium is social. Google My Business is always organic and such. These are basics. I'm not going into detail. This is not a Google Analytics course, but I'm telling you, if you take 2 seconds tomorrow to look at your Google Analytics, if you have thousands of sessions in the junk drawer, fix it, which would allow you to start doing trending and do some better reporting. The other thing I encourage you to do, and this is a scary one, this is my favorite thing to do when a dealer is spending a lot of money on Google. I just want to know where the agency is sending the traffic. And so there's something called a user flow report. And the way that is that first column in green, the first is the number 1 landing page, then by volume, the second landing page, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and then all others. When you hover over these green bars, it tells you how many people bounce. And even though I say bounce is not the metric, they call it abandon. it shows you whether or not you're bringing engaged shoppers. For example, let's just say the second page, 4,300 clicks in 1 month. What if, just imagine, what if you hovered over that and 80% of the people never looked at another page? Would you think you have a traffic quality problem? 80%, they clicked on an ad, came to a page. They never went to another page. Do you understand? This simple report, it's the sniff test. Does this stink? Some of you in this room have never looked at this, and you have landing pages, thousands of clicks, that have an abandon rate of 80, 85, 90, 95%. It's an immediate reason to investigate. Now you say, Brian, what if all that traffic, they found the perfect page and they converted? Good luck. I've never seen something with 80%, 90%, 95% abandon rate be a wise money spent. So it will look different per dealer. Oops, sorry. This was one dealer. Let me see. Dealer 1. There's dealer 2. It will vary for each dealer. Just understand you should be inspecting where your agency is taking your traffic. Now, this is something that will twist your heads just a little bit. But when you see the data, and if you do what I told you to do by tagging all your call to action buttons, the data will force you to change. Once you ever see something horrible, and we have the phrase, you can't unsee it? You see something horrible, I can't unsee this. Maybe it was your father naked coming out of the shower. Oh my God, I can't unsee that, whatever that is, right? So when you look at your data, you can't unsee it. So we have a problem in the States, not so much here, but we have this idea that on each VDP, there's lots of call to actions. Some dealers have 10 call to actions on a single car. So let's go through it. This dealer, this is still 2019. This is sad, but this is reality. They have the MSRP. They do not want to show the price, so it's get E price. Look how exciting that box is. Wow. Hold on. You just spent millions of dollars to buy a dealership, and in 2019, you refuse to give a selling price, and you think that in 2019, yet people shop very differently, that's cool. Brian, that's only with stupid, who is this? That's only with stupid Subaru dealers. Oh, well, here we go. Here's a Mercedes dealer. Here's the price. No, that's the price. It doesn't say it's the MSRP. There's the price. But you can get the E price. Do you understand the consumer gets a little concerned? Hold on. It says price. Like when I go to Amazon, price. When I go to Marketplace, price. Get E price. What? And amazing, beautiful form. Now, can we all agree that it's requiring the first name, last name, and email? With me? Phone number is optional. Does anybody in this room like chasing customers by email? If you were cynical, couldn't you, if you were outside the automotive and knowing that no dealer likes to pursue consumers by email, not a single one, couldn't someone outside of automotive say, oh, I know why you're not selling more cars, because you're stupid. You're forcing consumers to use the least effective channel of communications to do business with you. This form is basically saying, I don't care if you give me your phone number. I don't want to text or chat with you. If you want the price, you have to use what I hate and everyone in my dealership hates and ignores. You must use email. I'm exaggerating, but you have to understand this is exactly why the data is so shocking. Because it's 2019, not the year 2000. So, one more example. So they have the MSRP and the customer cash. That's a Toyota Motor customer cash. And they have a sale price. And if you're a recent college grad, you can get another $500 off. And if you're in the military, another $500 off. If you have webbed feet, another you get the idea. There's lots of weird things that happen. And then, does anybody have web? No, no one has. Okay, in 2019, don't you agree? There's the green call to action button. Get today's sale price. Don't you think most consumers in 2019, when they click that button, they expect to see today's price? Yes or no? Can you imagine trying to get the weather? Hey, I'm going to New York. What's the weather? Click here to get New York weather. Pop up a form. Now fill out this form, and I'll email you the weather. Hold on, Brian, the button just said, hold on, it said, get today's sale price, and it says yes, but you have to do it through a method that no one likes. We don't like it. The BDC doesn't like it. My salespeople don't like it. Matter of fact, there's a good chance we will ignore you. That's the only way we will communicate with you. So here's some real dealer data. The button on the VDP said, get best price. When you tag all your call to action buttons with Google Tag Manager, right? I told you that. That's why I brought it up. There's a reason. 412 people completed the action. And the dealer was getting about, that's a national average in US, about 50% two-way engagement via email. That's a 20% engagement rate. Let me just be very clear. You wonder why you're not selling more cars? Somebody comes to your website through your multi-million-dollar investment in a dealership. You're marketing thousands of dollars. You're in the community for years. You're hiring people. Someone has a simple question like, hey, what's the price? I like that car. What's the price? Listen, only 1 in 5 people actually will communicate with you during that. For this dealer, let's look at Honda dealer. Their button said, get best price, 175, 87, 16% engagement. Mazda dealer. And the worst of the batch. The woman who is the general manager of this dealer almost cried at my workshop because she was the one who asked, said, Brian, something's wrong with my dealership. I know it. And Subaru is a very good brand in the US. It's one of the most desirable, if not the #1 most desired dealership to own in the US. Extremely profitable, very loyal. The average Subaru customer buys 3 or 4 Subarus. They just keep on buying them. They're just extremely brand loyal, off the charts brand loyal. She said something's wrong. Well, look at that. Her button said, get the buy happy price. Are people happy with the process? This is a client of mine, and they have great brand promise. It's called the Buy Happy Promise. Here's what it is. They're a one-price dealer. Every car is one price. Non-commissioned salespeople, and when you buy a car, you get car washes for life and other things. But Subaru has a rule in the US that you can't advertise below a certain price. Okay? It's called MAP pricing rules, which is minimum advertised price, MAP pricing. So their buy happy price is actually lower than MAP. Every other of their brands on their website is the Maury's price. Maury's buy happy. For Subaru is forcing them to break their brand promise, which is clear upfront pricing the first time, no negotiation, no haggling. But for their Subaru site, the manufacturer won't allow them to show their price. And this is what happens. So, what is a better way? This Mercedes dealer represents what I want you to think about. Now, there's only going to be a few of you who will do this because you are addicted to leads and not selling cars. I'm just being very honest with you. You would rather have more leads and sell less cars than sell more cars and have less leads. Emotionally, you can't deal with it. Well, get over yourself. Those of you who want to sell more cars, you just have to ask yourself, do I care about the consumer? Are leads more important, or getting my vehicles in front of engaged shoppers? And when they're ready to ask a question, am I going to be there? This dealer Unlock instant pricing, they're on the website. You've spent money to develop a reason for them to visit the website, and I click the button, and it instantly pops up an artificial intelligent chat assistant. It says, "Hi, my name is Lisa, and I'm here to help you. Who am I speaking with?" And I say, "Brian." And the AI bot knows that that's a first name. And says, "Well, what's your last name?" And I give my last name. And the bot says, "Awesome, thanks. Can I have your phone number?" Now, I don't agree with this step, but I'm just going to tell you what was here, where we're moving. I give my phone number, and the bot says, "Thanks. Our best price is blah, blah, blah. May I show you payments?" I said yes. Takes me right into their digital retailing system where I could say lease or finance, my credit score, get a penny perfect payment. The exact payment that I would get is if I walked in the dealership. Now, there's some differences in Holland and US. I understand that. What is wrong here is the reason why this dealer couldn't show their best price is Mercedes in the US also has MAP pricing. They will not allow a dealer to show a market competitive price. They have a floor. And Mercedes floor is like a stupid floor. So what I really wanted the chat bot to say, and I know they're working on it, what's your first name? Brian. Last name? Pasch. Great. And then I want the bot to say, Mercedes won't allow us to show our low, low price, but I can look it up and text it to you. What's your mobile phone number? Oh. Anybody smelling the money there? Do you see what I did? I gave a reason to give the number. What did I just get? Watch. I got their first name, their last name, and their phone number. Anybody want first name, last name, email, or first name, last name, phone? You would want the phone every single time. What did I do? I took a button that was forcing the worst style of communication, email, and changed it around to serving them and giving their answer right there, and I got the lead. You with me? I got the lead. I also satisfied the customer, and I started to build a transparent process. So there are many chat companies that can help you with this. Paul and I are working to bring in one of the best into Holland that has the automated bot and the human. Think about this. Somebody clicks get e-price. All of you have this, get the price or negotiate the price or some other silly little thing. And you have this form. You could start the bot saying, "Hi, I'm here to help you get your best price or your discounted price. What's your first name, last name?" As soon as that starts happening, guess what happens? Sales desk can get a message. Someone's on the website interacting. They're interested in the price. The sales manager, if they're trained, can pick up the conversation away from the bot and start going back and forth. Do you understand what that means? It turns your website into truly a virtual showroom. Instead of now, it's a frustrate and chase. Frustrate meaning the consumer wants some basic information. You pop up a form. They're not really expecting a form because every other e-commerce site has things called the selling price or clear information. So this is pretty exciting stuff. I want you to challenge yourself. What if maybe you had 2 or 3 buttons? How about schedule a test drive? Isn't that the stupidest thing? You pop up a form. Somebody's like, I want to test drive that car. Change that button from a form to interactive chat. I don't care if it's a live person. You could do it. "Hi, this is Brian. I'm really excited you want to come for a test drive. When do you want to come in?" AI bots well, let me just go back. Wouldn't you take an appointment for a test drive almost any time of the day? Yes or no? Somebody says, "Hey, I want to come in tomorrow at 3 o'clock. You're going to say, no, we're really busy. I have no time for you. We all agree, if I wanted to buy a car from you tomorrow and pick any day this week, would you say no to me, yes or no? Would you say, no, I can't take that test drive? Why are we popping up this form? Schedule a test drive. Great. Pop up a chat session. Great. What's convenient for you? What's your name? First name. Yeah. I'm here to help you with an appointment. First name, last name. Just in case we get disconnected. What's your phone number? Great. When do you want to come in? Do you understand what just happened? I have 100% contact rate. But no, we're like, no, we are too busy to answer that question. Someone says, well, Brian, if they really wanted, they would have called. Get over yourself. My son doesn't want to call, doesn't want to talk to you. Or what about the people at work? They don't want to be next to their cube mate hearing you shopping for cars. Does anybody get what I'm trying to say? Why are we frustrating and chasing? Why don't we start testing, especially on the these things like schedule a test drive or value my trade? Why wouldn't you turn that into a real-time two-way conversation? Couple topics left. Paul said we're stopping at 5, right? So we're stopping at 5. By the way, any questions on that? Moving from forms to real-time engagement. Anybody disagree with me? Anybody think that's a good idea to test? Grunt like wild boar or something? Give me some. I heard a grunt. That was good. That was pretty good. That was a baby wild boar. I only say wild boar because where Paul lives, they run wild and attack people. Questions on that? Nothing? Okay. It's getting hot in here. Everyone's going to sleep. Got it. Okay. Let's just quickly talk about ad targeting. All of you understand digital advertising in general, in theory. Just want to make a couple points. Is that more and more these pitches are coming out. Maybe they're coming here already. People are saying, oh, we're using device graphs, or, oh, we do personalized messaging, or just-in-time messaging. And it's very confusing for a dealer to know if this agency really can deliver what they're even talking about. And then you may be wondering, well, how do they deliver just-in-time or personalized messaging? What I want to just mention for after sales, it's the same thing. There are clear keywords for intent. If somebody types in Toyota oil change or Toyota tire prices, we clear that these people have clear intent. Then there's some other keywords. If they just type in Toyota, what do they want? I have no idea. Toyota dealers near me, I have no idea what they want. They could be a vendor selling to Toyota dealers. They could be somebody looking for a job. They could be somebody looking for after sales, somebody who's looking for you understand? When keywords have broad intent, it's hard to know what they want. Even the name of the dealership, it's very hard to know what they wanted. And I bring this up because it's very important to understand that if you've been in business for a number of years, if you have a good customer database in your CRM, you should know that both Google and Facebook allow custom audiences. If you're not using custom audiences, you're missing an opportunity. What a custom audience allows you to do is take all the people who've done business with you, typically their name, phone number, and email, and then Google and Facebook will try to match it and give you an anonymized list to advertise to. So say, Brian, I have 10,000 people in my database. How many people match in Facebook? It could be 6,000 people. Now I have 6,000 people that I can advertise to. They're existing customers. Same with Google, okay? Custom audience. How do they match? Name, phone number, and email address. Now, the other, and that shouldn't be new news, okay? That should be, okay, I've heard that before. One of the things that people forget is if you're tagging your website properly, if somebody is going to, say, the service center page, and then they're looking at tires, and then they're looking at batteries, do you know that Google Analytics can create an audience of people who are interested in after sales? And then for the next 7 days, you could be advertising to them. Somebody comes to your website for after sales, they're going to make a decision quickly. They may be coming to your website for tires. It's sad that many of the dealers I looked and have no tire tools on the website? You should be able to, if you're a Toyota dealer, put in the year and make, model of the car, show the different tires and tire pricing. But this is super important to understand that why would you pay your agency to guess for you if your own website could give you amazing data? I wonder, maybe my battery's going or something. Oh, so when you understand that you could track people, remember Google Tag Manager? See, retargeting, somebody comes to your website, they're tracked somehow, they leave your website and they go to a news site, they go to another shopping site, and you could follow them with a video or a display. This is an absolute waste of money. If you're retargeting everyone who comes to your website, you are wasting money. If somebody comes to your homepage and does nothing, what ad should you show them? The answer is, I don't know. So don't advertise to them. If they come to your VDP and don't even scroll, they don't click on anything, why would you advertise? Oh, that's because they were on the VDP. No. What if your ad agency was sending the clicks to the VDP, the consumer didn't want to be there, or they clicked on the ad because they really wanted to service their car, they just clicked on your ad. So wouldn't it make better sense that you stop guessing and you target people who act like shoppers? Meaning, somebody comes to a VDP, looks at photos, ooh. They play with the payment calculator, yeah. They click on the specifications, yeah. Meaning, if you start tagging your site, you can actually yourself make a list of engaged shoppers and use that for Facebook and Google. It's an amazing thing. And I'm just going to show it to you real quick because it's one of the most overlooked things with Google Analytics. I'm just going to pick a dealer. I don't know if they have events. Let me just see if they have what I want. No, okay. So we're going to go to Maury's. Okay, so this is dealer in Minnesota that has their Google Analytics account set up perfectly. And I'm just going to go in the month of May, just because we're talking about scale now. And all the events that I create start with CPE for cost per engagement. It's just a naming convention. And I want you to see that the number one thing that people do is click on the gallery or scroll or swipe on a mobile phone. This is why photo engagement is so important. Reading the specifications, the window sticker. I'm just reading down these. Once you tag your website on the important shopping actions, if you believe me, watch how cool this is. I'm going to go to the admin panel. I'm going to go to audiences. I'm going to click audiences. And I'm going to create a new audience. And I'm going to create, and here's what I'm going to say, conditions. Now, events are the clicks or swipes that people do. So event category is the field. And watch. Matches. Watch. CPE, photo. Okay, photo gallery view or swipe, or they look at tabs. I'll take any of that. Or CPE, let's do trade. They started a trade-in process. Or CPE, view window sticker. Or, you see what I'm doing? I'm saying, me, not the agency, what do I think is an engaged shopper? Do you understand? Every dealer in this room may have a slightly different opinion. You with me? CPE, what else? Well, there's a whole list of events that I could pick. Did they view the special offers page? CPE, did they look at the specifications? You with me? You can keep on going. This, or this, or this, or this. How many days? Well, the average car buyer may be in market for 60 days. I'm going to call this engaged shoppers. What did I just do? Once I tagged my website for what shoppers do, which is what every e-commerce company does. They don't just track dollars sold. They are trying to figure out which ad messages, which ad strategies, which geo-targets are bringing the most engaged shoppers. They know they can't force people to convert today, so they need to get the most engaged people identified. Once they're identified, they looked at photos, they did a trade-in, they looked at the window sticker, and you could do 10 or 15 of these. You with me? How long do you want to keep that list? For 60 days. I want these people to be 60 days. I want it 45 days. I want it 30 days. For fixed ops, I want it 7 days. You call it, and then you could pick which Adwords account. Pick an Adwords account. And as soon as you click that button, your Adwords agency can see the list. After 30 days, that list starts to build. You with me? Guess what? Instead of retargeting everyone, doesn't it make sense to retarget people who acted like shoppers? If you understand what I just did, I could also do this. Get rid of all this. Page. I have to look for page. I recommend that all your fixed operations pages are in a subdirectory. Okay? If you have 10 popular pages like batteries, brakes, tires, transmission, all should be in a directory like /service or the equivalent Dutch word. Watch this. Starts with /service. Okay? And you see it picked up these pages automatically, right? If the person was on any of those pages, and you had some other pages, parts or whatever, or this page, you understand what I can do then? I can create an audience for fixed ops. These are the people who navigated to my website and looked at a service page for 7 days. I want to keep them in a list and always advertise. Maybe it's a price match guarantee for tires or something. What I'm trying to show you is that once you get serious about marketing data, once you understand that you could be more in control of your sales for cars and for after sales, you have all the data, you just maybe never knew it was that simple to create lists of people who come to your website that act like commercial van shoppers or who look like electric vehicle shoppers or who are looking for tires or brakes or batteries. You with me? You would say, Brian, what I understand, you're telling me if I tag my website for what people do on the pages, I don't have to just count leads anymore. The leads are going to be whatever they are. But now I can look at all the people who visit my website and weed out the people who do nothing. That's jump ball. I don't know what to do with them. But I can, build lists of service visitors and truck visitors and electric vehicle. And you with me? You see how that changes our marketing strategy? Now we don't have to trust Google or Facebook for in-market shoppers. We have our own website. For some of the dealer holding groups here in the room, you get a lot of traffic to your portal. If you're a very small dealer, I just want to be clear that you may not have enough data that you could just turn these on very quickly, but it is very exciting. 2 last topics before we call it a day. I think after sales is the most neglected piece of the business for advertising. Would you agree? Most dealers who come to a convention or a conference like this, how many people's full-time job is after sales here? Full-time job is after sales? Now, what does that tell us? That means that the dealers here in the room or the managers said, my after sales guy or gal does not need to be here. They're too stupid to understand it. They don't want to be here. I've heard all the excuses. They're old school. Well, they will continually be old school if we keep them in the dark. You with me? When I speak at big conferences, and there's 500 people in the room, there may be 20 people who are fixed ops directors. We have to break the cycle, especially if in this country, because of the predominance of electric vehicles or hybrids, if service hours are declining, service revenue is declining, if that's your trajectory, you need to step up and build something back. So one of the things you need to do is you need to do an audit of your website. I have not found a dealer in Holland yet. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I haven't found a dealer that has an individual page for their top 10 services. Most dealers in Holland have 4 or 5 pages. They may have one for tires. They maybe have one for oil change. Maybe have, but if you went to a fixed ops director or after sales, if I say to them, what are your top 10? They would say, okay, it's brakes, and it's tires, and it's batteries, maybe a coolant flush, maybe some transmission, maybe it's auto glass. You with me? Could you think of 10 popular things? Are there 10 individual pages on your website, one for each service? That's the question. Does anybody say, Brian, you can pull up my website right now. I'm proud. We have 10 individual pages for 10 specific services, not warranty, not recalls, meaning specific service. Someone walks in, a page that explains the whole thing. How many? Okay, look around the room. We wonder why our most profitable area of the business is being eaten by the independents, because the good independents, they have a page for brakes and a page for tires and a page. You with me? So you need to be asking yourself. I just went to Aaron Auto. Is Aaron here? Aaron? Anybody from Aaron? Good. Let's talk about that. No. Here, and I just clicked, and obviously you could read this, but there are a couple of pages dedicated for services. This page happens to be for brakes, correct? So they got the idea, but then they stopped short. Now, from everything you learned, you now know that Google Tag Manager is the tool to track what people do on your pages, right? And I just showed you, if you have a page for each service, you could create a list of people who looked at brakes or tires, if there was an individual page for each service, right? You with me? See how it's all building? I can stop counting leads and start inspecting 100% of the people that come to my website. If I have the right content on my website, I can start building lists of people who look like they're interested in after sales, and people who look like truck buyers, and people who look like EV. With me? So they had this page, which I was kind of happy about. And this is what it looked like. First of all, the URL is pretty well optimized. The dealership name is there, and then Renault, and of course these other great Dutch words. But Paul told me that's a pretty good URL structure in Dutch for an oil service page. And there's a lot of text, and there's the call to action button, and there's a general contact form, and there's a video at the bottom. What do you guys think of that page? Just give me some feedback. We need to get through this for you to get one more cup of coffee before you start shaking. What do we think of this page?
Where's the phone number?
Okay, phone number is probably crammed up in the top, I bet, but I can't see it from here. Good question. What do we think of the page?
Too much text.
Too much text is one thought. Anything else?
Video's great.
Video's great, right? That's good. Go ahead.
No chat box?
Yeah, so I was on here, and there was nothing going on that was, hey, can I help you schedule your brake appointment, or would you like to see a competitive price on brakes, okay? So that's what they had. Now, basic SEO says that your page title should be optimized for search. The page URL, which we saw up top, that page URL should be optimized with the keywords of what you want, and you should have good content and subheadings. This is like basic SEO. So what did I do? I wanted to see what this design looked like on a mobile phone. So let's see if that would play it. Let's see, or is it that will play it? Here it is. Here's on a mobile phone. I'm getting tired, I'm getting really sleepy, I'm dead, I'm really dead.
Old school SEO content.
Okay, so it's basically old school SEO content. Just fill that page with shit, no matter if anybody reads it. Google's stupid. That used to be the case. Now, I would say that it would make sense to put the video at top, right? Number one, mobile video, people consume. I'd put the call to action button underneath the video. And then if you want to have the text, have the text. But do you understand what they did? Now, there is a school of thought. I just want to let you know, I'm not perfect, even though I know you were thinking that. Only a few. There are some people who believe conversion optimization is you have to pay off the reason to convert, and that's why the call to action button is at the end. But if you read this text, you'd be put asleep before you ever converted. This isn't like a vacation where you're saying, and the bedrooms are using, 100 thread count or 800 thread count sheets on a luxurious foam bed. Okay, that may work if you're booking a very expensive holiday package. But people like, I need my breaks. How much is it going to cost me? So this was the page title. This was the sad thing. In Google search, that is the page title. No what the brakes were for. This was a Renault dealer, right? No geo. No. You see that page title is what shows up in search. And there was the page description, which shows in search. Do you understand, if you want to really understand fixed ops marketing, you should have a page for your at least top 10, individual pages for your top 10 services, and they should be optimized. This should be, I can't speak the Dutch piece, but this should be Renault brake pads in service in Arnhem or whatever. You with me? What do I have in there? I have the brand, I have some keywords that match, and I have a geolocation. You with me? That description shows up in search. Instead of this fluff, I would say, don't overpay, period. Get genuine Renault brake pads and secure the warranty on your vehicle at, you with me? Why is that important? Because when you type in a search, I forced the search, so don't think that that's what I believe people type in. Here's the listing. Aaron Auto should not even be in the title, but here's this description. That title should be competitive prices on genuine Renault brake pads and service. That should be the title, the top big letters. And then in here, say, look, maybe price match guarantee on genuine Renault. You with me? This should be selling. This is fluff. This is fluff. It's not standing out from independence. So when you look in the US, you'll see that there are dealers, batteries, brakes, tires, oil filter, cabin air filter, wiper blades. Now, I'm not saying that this is the perfect, but you understand it doesn't take a long time to create 10 distinct pages. Toyota in the US has a video library for every common service. So the dealers in the US don't even have to film the videos. But do you understand what you're learning? You want to compete with after sales? Fix your Google My Business page, number one. That's free. Next, create a single page with a clear call to action button for your 10 top services. That's number two. Number three, create a custom audience of people who visit and engage with those pages. And then you have the ability to market to the people who have, listen, self-identified themselves as after-sales shoppers because you gave them the content to explore on their website. You understand? If you have 2 pages of content for after-sales on your website, you have no ability to use those thousands of visitors a month to peel off the ones that are engaged in a search for after sales. You with me? Does that make sense? Great. I know you're tired, but get over yourself. Come on. It also, you should know this, if you don't have good landing pages, you spend a lot more on Google. Meaning, if you have one page that says, one paragraph, oil change, next paragraph, batteries, next paragraph, brakes, okay? Google looks at that page and says, I'm not really sure what that page is about. If you have an ad for batteries and it's going to a battery page, Google's going to say, hey, you're buying battery keywords. It's going to a page that has battery in the title. It has a page that has a good URL, everything, battery, 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 battery. It gives the quality score. It charges you 50% less. If you take the battery ad and send it to your service scheduling page, which has nothing about brakes or batteries, then you could be on the bottom, where you could be at level 4, and you're paying a lot more. You understand? It's all tied together. If you have the right content on your website and it's organized properly, you could create really great targeted advertising lists. And then when you advertise, you actually have the pages to send people to convert. These are the ad sizes that most dealers use. I hope you understand that for fixed ops, that kind of ad structure is very boring. When you're trying to convince people to service their Toyota or Fiat or Renault or Dacia at your dealership, do you really think that a banner ad is going to help them overcome their thought process that it's cheaper to go to an independent? Not so much. I do believe video is the important one, and you can do it in both Facebook and Google, but I just want you to know Facebook, since you can put the Facebook pixel and you can create a list in Facebook of the people who visited your service pages only in Facebook, you could say this list of people came to my website and looked at these 10 or one of these 10 or 15 service pages. You could actually have a lead form ad where service special, the batteries, the tires, the brakes, oil change is a coupon. Facebook will automatically fill out the information from their profile and send you a lead. That's one choice. But my favorite is video. So Facebook has pre-roll and mid-roll. Mid-roll is what aggravates people the most, right? Don't you get a little aggravated with mid-roll? I'm not a fan of mid-roll. I'm a fan of pre-roll. But this was an interesting chart that Facebook put out of the attention span of skippables versus non-skippables. In the middle, obviously, more people watch when you can't skip. Okay, and if it's live TV, like, okay, people slow decline. If it's skippable, you get this quick group and then sharp drop off. Here's one thing you should need to know. If people skip ads on Google, you don't get charged. So if you advertise on pre-roll and they skip, you don't get charged. What does that mean? In your first 5 seconds, you better have a memorable brand promise. At Pasch Auto, we're price competitive on every Renault repair. That's 3 seconds. If they skip it, guess what? Thousands of people in your local market just heard that I'm price competitive. At Pasch Auto, we have a price match guarantee on all tires. If they want to skip, guess what? I just got thousands of people to hear that at my dealership, I'm going to be price competitive on tires. Every dealer in this room should understand you should be price competitive on tires. You should have a price match guarantee in your market because you know darn well, once that car is on the lift, it's not hard to find other things that the customer ignored. But you have to get the car on the lift. Well, I'm not going to drop my prices on tires. Get over yourself. If you're not price competitive, they're not going to be in. If they're in, you have the opportunity of upsell. So why buy videos? Why service videos? And insider or first new specials are great videos for fixed ops marketing. The banner is hard. If you decide to do a price match guarantee, a banner can work because your banner could remind them they came to your tire page and you say, we will beat or meet any price on tires, same make model period. Plus, we have these advantages. If somebody comes to that page and you follow them with a price match guarantee, for sure, that could work. But it's hard in fixed ops to get a lot of selling of the independent versus the dealer. And of course, if you're an independent service shop, and some of you are here, just remember, video allows you to add credibility of the quality of the services you're offering. And the best way Facebook does this is Facebook keeps track of what percentage of the people watch your video. Now, some of you know this, some of you have never heard of this. Let me just show you the application of this. Let's just say you wanted to increase, I'm just pick more fixed ops, but it could be if you say, Brian, I can't take any more service business or after sales business, we're full. Great, let's talk about cars. Let's just say that you're a Renault dealer and there's a new model that's kind of sexy and getting some press. What if you could create a sales funnel out of videos? A sales funnel. Here's how it looks. For fixed ops, you could create a video and saying, I want everyone on Facebook in a 10-mile radius, or whatever kilometers you'd like, around my dealership. And the first video is why they should service at my dealership. And let's just say 5,000 people watched the video. Facebook knows it. It was exposed to 30,000, but 5,000 watched the whole video. You could then say, okay, for the 5,000, I want them to see the second video. And 2,500 people watch that. Then you could say to Facebook, those 2,500, show them this video. This video says that we're price competitive. Okay, 1,500 people saw that. Now, the next video is your current monthly service specials. You see what I'm doing? I'm using Facebook as a net. Who's interested in service right now in the market? Okay, let me lead them down, and lead them down, and lead them down. And guess what? In 1 to 2 weeks, you have this beautiful service funnel, and then we have online servicing. Call this number, message with us. On Facebook, you could do live messaging if you support messaging. I'm going to end on this, and man, I'm so good, Paul. We have like 7 minutes, and this next section is 6.5. This is amazing, the timing. I just want to tell you that I've been working with Paul for 6 or 7 years now, and I enjoyed the hospitality. As you know, I speak clearly. I'm passionate for the dealer. I want the dealers to be more aware of how they can be better entrepreneurs in a digital age. In the U.S., the laws and the purchasing allows most people to walk onto a lot and drive away with a car very quickly. In Italy, for example, it's impossible to buy a car the same day, pretty much nearly impossible. Some brands, obviously here, are non-stocking dealers. Cars have to be ordered, but it's hard in many countries to do instant banking. The U.S. has that figured out. The problem is that dealers have always done the bait and switch, right? General price, get in, and then crush them. And of course, that in the U.S. is now coming around to bite dealers because people like Tesla or Carvana or CarMax that are one price, one selling price, clear, seamless process, are dominating the acceleration of sales. So when we think about digital retailing, in the book that I wrote, we did a survey of consumers and we asked them, how, in 2 words, describe your next ideal car buying experience. If you could fantasize, think about the next time you need to buy a car, how would you want it? And you'll notice that the first word that jumps out by volume was faster, and then simpler, and then mostly online. This is a really important trend. Consumers know they don't know everything about buying a car. They need help, but they don't want to do it in the dealership anymore because in the US, it's taken time. On a busy Saturday in California, where a dealer is selling 100 cars that day. And I know for some of you, you would say that is impossible, okay? But you can sell 100 cars in Southern California on a single day. You understand the line for the finance manager could actually be backed up. People can sit in the dealership for 3 hours, 2 hours waiting for the finance manager. It's just unacceptable because Starbucks allows you to order coffee on your app, and Amazon tells you when the package is coming. And now in the US, when Amazon delivers a package on your front door, they take a photo of the package on your step and send you the photo. Very creepy, but very cool. So when we talk about this, I just recorded a video of what a modern retail experience is evolving to. There's many different companies with different software, but this is what it looks like. This is Pohanka Nissan, a customer of mine. I'm doing a national pilot with Nissan in the US. Nissan has made a commitment to be the easiest brand in the United States to buy online. That's their goal, the easiest. And they have me going around the country using different technologies. I'm not selling anything. I'm coaching the dealers how to build the modern sales process. And this is just what the technology looks like from a consumer. So I go in, I'm looking for an Altima. Obviously, this is accelerated. And I come to an SRP, a listing of cars, and I click on the car. This was on my mobile phone because Paul's internet and eBay wasn't allowing me, so it was a little slow. But I'm on a VDP, just looks the same. And you'll notice there's a configure your lease payment or your loan payment. I clicked on lease payment, and it brings up what we call the digital retailing software. So the first thing it does, it looks at the banks and gives me the ability to finance, lease, or buy it in cash. I put in some information, which is just my name, my email address, my phone number, okay, my zip code, and I'm going to go hit the next step. And it does a soft pull, real-time credit check that fast. And it allows me to tell what my credit score is. So in the US, we have numbers, right? So I'm saying, there's my credit score. And as soon as it hit next step, it's going to then say, are you a military? Are you a first responder, like a fireman? Are you a current Nissan owner or not? Because rebates and incentives. And it now approves me for that interest rate. That's not an estimate. That is exactly what will be written. And I can pick which bank I want to use. I can pick the term. I can pick the cash down. And what we would call a lease in the US is more like a private lease, what you would call. How many miles? Okay. And so I can pick my next step. I can now pick additional coverage like an extended warranty or wheels and tire protection. This particular package or company doesn't show the prices. They just indicate interest, so when the consumer comes in, the salesperson knows what they're interested in. I could then get custom wheels. I can click that, look at that, edit, and continue on. And now it shows me what the state tax is and the title fee is. That is not negotiable. It's by the state. And it now gives me my full deal. I can toggle finance, lease, or cash still. I can customize lease again. I can schedule my appointment to come in and test drive the car right there. And if I wanted to print the deal and take that in with me. So this is what we're calling digital retailing or modern retail experience. The dealers who are using this the best, when someone walks in, they're driving their car within 1 hour. They come in, they say, I configured my deal. Oh, yes, Mr. Pasch, I see you. They look up the deal. Okay, you're interested in the Altima. You want to do it for 48 months. I see you've been pre-approved. Would you like to go on a test drive? Absolutely. They go on a test drive. Now, 50% of the people, you know this, right? 50% of the people at the test drive change their mind. They pick another car. But you understand, all the financing has been pre-approved. All they have to do is change the vehicle. Everything recalculates. They come back from the test drive. Hey, is this the car you want? Yeah, great. Press a button. electronic signatures, banking, paperwork, everything. It's there, it's done. They go over the vehicle, they're out the door. Does that sound like something consumers would want to do? So in each country, there's different laws, right? Italy, there's some weird things about banking. In Mexico, you can't buy a new car under 2 weeks. It takes the banks over 7 days to approve you. It's very, very strange. Okay? But every country is different. When we talk about modern retail, the biggest challenges with this are these couple things. That the biggest thing is some dealers still feel uncomfortable in 2019 of actually establishing online a selling price. They feel that gives them a competitive disadvantage. There isn't a single dealer who's adopted retail who's making less money. Let me say that again. The reason why dealers don't want to do this modern process is they say, I'm going to lose my back-end gross, right? So front-end gross in the US is the difference in selling price and their cost. The back-end gross is how much money they make on insurance, warranties, tire protection, okay? They say, no, I'm going to lose money. Every dealer I've worked with, their back-end, their total gross profit has gone up. Why? Just the opposite. Consumers are selecting more products than the dealers thought, and they're negotiating less. Let me say that again. They're actually negotiating less. And then, of course, the biggest problem is all this data is going on online, and when the lead gets sent to the CRM, guess what? The CRMs don't have all this data fields. So they're being shoved in the comments field of the CRM, which is very sloppy. And then the biggest problem, even for sophisticated dealers, is retraining the salesperson not to start from zero. Meaning actually being comfortable. They've been trained. Needs assessment, establish rapport, do this, step 5, steps. This is wired. They've been doing this for 10 years. Do you understand how different it is greeting them and saying, okay, here's your deal. Is everything okay? All right, do you want to go on a test drive? There are people who are doing all this work online. They come in and the salesman treats them the old process. And at some point, the consumer says, I did all this work online. Oh, you did? Oh, okay, let's look at broken promise. I hope you enjoyed today. I mean, I could keep on going for hours. I won't, though, out of respect for all of you. But I come each year to challenge you to be better, to think differently, to stop thinking our advertising needs to be like it was in 2000, to stop relying on forms and start engaging. Rethink your fixed ops strategy. You deserve it. That money is yours. That we're just letting the independents take away from us. And we need to be rethinking what it means to buy a car in each country to create it faster, simpler, and mostly online. Thank you so much for your day. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.